Hi, hello again. Just finishing hosing out the milking yard. Should have finished this a couple of hours ago, but I had other stuff I was doing. So there we go. That's the last lot of cows in there being milked now. And that should do us, I think. So put that away now. And then run the second to last lot of cows back up to the paddock, I think. Then we'll okay. Okay, so taking them back up the milk run. Yeah. And as AK pointed out, it makes me look like a Pied Piper, as all the cows are following me and my tractor like this. But it's still my preferred way of moving cows about the farm. Obviously I don't do this if I'm moving them like to the sales yards or anything, but this is how I move them, just around the yards and around the farm. So taking them all up the run here. And of course all this, the whole milking shed and the run down to it and everything didn't come on the map. I've added all of that into the map myself, because I wanted to turn it into more of a real dairy farm. Yeah, I'll just shut that gate. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm actually going to take them through to the next paddock, because this paddock we're in right now is one of my winter paddocks rather than one of my summer ones, so just take them through here. Getting there slowly. I have found that keeping the tractor in a lower gear so it goes a lot slower seems a lot more realistic when you've got the cows walking behind you like this rather than going too fast. And again we'll just close that gate. That one's quite hard to see because it's just a barbed wire one, but it's closed now. Okay. And this is the paddock we're going to leave these cows in, but we'll just take them down towards the feed troughs first. There's my dog. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I have now taken out my A&P show and I've taken out my tractor museum, and I've got my mod count down from, it was at about 70 before, and I've got it down to 44, so I'm quite happy with that. I don't like to have too many mods. Where is it? Too many mods on any given map, because I don't want it to slow down the system too much or anything like that. There you go. Moved all the cows into the paddock and they can go about their business now. Yeah. And I wanted to actually talk to you about something to do with my fertilising and using slurry, so that's what we're going to do next. I'm just going to go and drop off my invisible cow trailer here, and then we'll grab the slurry tanker and go and do a bit of that so that I can show you something about my farm, about the map. And I'd actually be really interested to hear whether this is something that only happens on New Zealand farms or whether it happens overseas as well. Now, I don't live on a farm. I spent 1 year of my life living on a farm when I was knee-high to a grasshopper sort of thing, and that's been my total farm experience, so not very much really at all. But I've done a bit of study up about things in order to make this game more realistic for myself. So, yep, we're going to go and show you this and discuss this. I'll just grab my my slurry tanker here. Now, one of the things about the slurry tankers is, and I'm not going to use the proper names for them because I don't know the proper names, but this is one of the ones that I'd say has a waggling dog's tail on the back rather than a what do you call it when you have the big line of bits out, I can't think of the name of it now. Some of the slurry tankers have a big thing like this has, like those arms on the back of them, and this one doesn't. It has the little wiggly tail thing like that. Now, I'd actually prefer one that's got the big things like that. If I can't find one like that that's actually small enough so that it will work on a tractor the size of mine. Now, I'm just going to show you where I get my slurry from. There's two places. This slurry fill up point here feeds directly off the calf barn here. As you can see, I don't have any calves at the moment, but when I have calves in there, I can grab the slurry from there, and if I run out of slurry from there, I have another slurry pickup area at the other end of this calf barn, but this one here is actually a slurry buy point. So I've deliberately done it in that way so it just looks like it's part of the farm still. But if I don't have enough slurry from the calves, because obviously the cows in the paddocks there don't make slurry, so the calves is the only way they get slurry. So if I just don't have enough, I can actually just pull in here and buy it, and you'll watch my money go down as I do this, whereas if I got it from the other end, my money wouldn't be going down. Now you'll notice while that's filling up, I'll just talk here, I've cleared away a lot of my junk here. I've still got my old farm trailer there. I use this one for picking up bags of chicken feed and bags of milk powder. I really love this trailer. I only discovered it a couple of weeks ago, but I really like it because it looks like a old pickup truck that's been chopped down, which is exactly what it is in actual fact. And the reason I like that is because Kiwis have a bit of a reputation for a can-do attitude. You know, give them a bit of number 8 wire and they can fix pretty well anything. And so trailers like that are a good example of that. Now, in fact, I will actually show you very briefly another couple of examples of the old Kiwi can-do attitude there. If I go to my photo albums, I'll just close that bit, and no, that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted this one. So I'm going to my photo albums, pictures, farm pics. As you can see, I've got an awful lot of farm pictures here. Whenever I see one that I like. Now, I'm going to show you two different Volkswagens. This one's called a Volkswagen Mactra. It'll take a moment to load up, I'm sorry. So there you can see that's a Mactra, and they're New Zealand made, but there was only about a dozen of them ever made, I believe. And then there was the Volkswagen Trailmaker, which is this one here, and there's only 3 of those ever made, I believe, again made in New Zealand. Both of those are made from Volkswagen Beetle floor pans by sticking reasonable sized tyres on the back. Because the weight of the engine was over the back wheels, which was the drive wheels, they actually handled paddocks and things very well. So for farmers that couldn't afford a Land Rover, things like that were New Zealand made, were actually really good farm vehicles. And that's what I mean when I talk about the Kiwi can-do attitude. We learn to make whatever we need, or manage to just do with whatever we've got. And it's something that Kiwis are really well known for, and that's the reason I quite like that car trailer. That's a cut down pickup truck, because if you had a pickup truck where the front had rusted away and the engine was long gone and things, rather than throwing the whole thing away for scrap, it still becomes useful for things such as for the to use as a trailer like that. Now as we tune along here, I'm going to pull over to the side of the road here for a second, because I went back to an earlier version of this map, pre-car museum and tractor museum and things. I had to redo these 2 houses again, so I've redone these. So this one here is AK's one, AK 74 CPA, because he's an accountant in real life, and his house now has a tree house at the back of it. This is what I put in there. And next door to OK, those cars just wait for me outside. This here, there you go, that's Fury Machine Gaming's garage, and he's got a glass house with tomatoes in it growing out the back of his place. So both AK and Fury Machine Gaming are people who I'd highly recommend you tune into their YouTube videos, but I did have to redo these two houses, which means I've redone their vehicles, and by getting rid of the Mini and the Jag that I had there, I was able to cut down on the number of mods I had. Oh, heck. Okay, that wasn't such a clever thing. If I can, yeah, let's see if I can get it out. No, there we go. This wasn't enough room on the side of that road there. This paddock on the right I own, and I'm planning on planting carrots in that paddock, but I need to wait until, oh come on, get out of my way yet. So, okay, both of you go past. Come on, come on. Plan, I think it's March I can plant carrots, so I'm going to wait until March. Okay. Now, so we're just going to start the slower here and lay down some. Don't have it. Oh, lost it off the road probably yet. Here we go in there. So that's why I call it the wagon tail type rear, and I prefer the other kind, but I simply haven't got a tractor powerful enough to pull any of the other ones. Now, one of the reasons that I really enjoy having this farm set in the mid to late 80s is you'll notice here, if I turn the camera away a bit, I have a water source right here. Now, one thing that I do understand about farming is I wouldn't be allowed to put slurry down on this field using this kind of tanker near a water source nowadays, because you're not allowed to have any kind of spraying going on near an open water source like that unless it's where it's going directly into the ground, and so there's no chance any particles could accidentally get into the water. In the same way, if I was wanting to put cows in this paddock, I would have to put a fence up along here to prevent the cows from getting into the water nowadays, because in New Zealand you're not allowed to have a stream or a river or anything like that going through your farm that cows could get into, because then they could defecate in there and it pollutes the water that someone further down the track could end up drinking or something. I'd be very, very interested to know whether that's a New Zealand thing only, or whether other countries have similar kind of rules nowadays. But because this map here is set in the mid to late 80s, I don't have to worry about that sort of thing, and I can have it how it is. I mean, yes, I could put a fence up there if I really wanted to, but I quite like having the water source there. Okay, let's, now that I've emptied that one, come in here. In fact, I might just direct this again load now, I think. Give you some interior view here. So yes, I would be really interested to know, like people who are in America and things, if they could perhaps tell me whether you're allowed to, you know, spray fertilisers or slurry or anything like that near an open water source like a river or a stream, or whether that's highly illegal nowadays, which it definitely is in New Zealand, but in the 80s when this farm is set it wasn't, so I could have done this and no problem whatsoever. Now, another thing you'll notice as I come back here, I'll slow down a bit on the dirt, is, you know, I talked about how this farm's set in the 80s, the mid to late 80s, and if you have a look over here, you'll see that I have a Ford 40 Series tractor. Now, I'm well aware of the fact that the 40 Series tractor wasn't released until 1991, which makes it a wee bit hard for it to be here on this farm in the 80s, but I happen to really like that tractor mod, so I just use poetic license and I have that tractor, and I don't care if it wasn't actually released here. I'm not going silly with that sort of thing, so I'm not going to have any really modern cars or anything like that, but I do really like that tractor, and it's only slightly too late for the farm, so I'm happy to have it still. Yeah. Oh, I did notice on one of Fury Machine Gaming's videos the other day, he had the big white X's for the interactive control there. So I told him how to fix that, and as you can see with mine, if I press the backwards hash, which is what I have it set up to, it brings up all the X's for me to open doors, windows, etc, etc. I press the backwards hash again after I've opened or closed whatever I wanted to open or close. It just makes the X's disappear again, and I think it looks a bit more realistic than having white X's here everywhere like that. But yeah, I still get the benefits of having the interactive control. So we'll go down and we'll stick one more tanker full of slurry on that field, and by that time I think it'll be time to call this video a day, because it's been 15 minutes long already. I don't want to make videos that are too long. Right there, cool. Indicator off again. Going past Fury's house and AK's house. And here we are back in the field. Now, how I normally do this, and people do it however they want and I don't mind, but I do outside tractor views when I'm actually doing the field work, like this, and inside views when I'm driving down the roads and things. It's just the way I prefer to do it. So I find it a lot easier having an inside view on the roads, and I find it a lot easier because I've always done car racing using an in-car view. But when you're on the field, so you don't miss bits and things like that, I find it a lot easier to do the outside bits like this. You can see all the slurry going down there, so that's all good. And we should have enough slurry to finish this field now. So one more strip and I think I'll be done. Oh no, maybe two more. This might be the second to last one actually. Yeah, and the reason I do slurry is because, as I think I said to you a couple of videos ago, one of the kind of little rules I play with is that you can't use, because every field needs fertilising twice, I play it that you can't use the same method of fertilising the field both times. So I do slurry one time, and I normally do solid fertiliser, but the bought solid fertiliser, the little pellet things, the second time. And that's the way I choose to fertilise my fields. And then I have a third way altogether of doing the weed kill. So I can show you that if we go back to the yard. Just jump back in here. So given that it's the last month of autumn now, it's probably getting a bit cold, and I should probably look at closing all the windows and sunroof on my tractor now until spring comes about. It's probably a bit cold to have them open now. I do like to play this game where like I change what my person's wearing depending on what job I'm doing, and I do open and close the tractor windows depending on what the weather would be. Sometimes I sort of forget because obviously I don't feel the heat or the cold. It doesn't translate through the TV, but I try and remember to do all of that anyway. So yeah, I'll just pack up here for a moment to show you this. So normally I do my first application of fertilisation using the slurry there. The second one I used a little star sprayer here, which isn't too big. You can go on one of my small tractors and there's some sacks of fertiliser to go on it. And then I use this one here for my herbicide, which is over here. So yeah, I have the three different ways sort of thing, but I never ever use that one for fertiliser. I do use that one for lime occasionally as well as fertiliser, but that one only ever gets weed kill put in it, and that's all. So I think we'll call that a day now. Thank you very much for joining me.